Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to this series of reviews for the Friday the 13th movies. Now we are getting on to the next installment of the series, and that review is going to be on Friday the 13th, Part 3. Now, Part 3 was released a year after Part 2 in '82. Once again, directed by Steve Miner, same guy that did Part 2. I think he also went on to do Lake Placid, and of course the crappy Day of the Dead remake. But Friday the 13th Part 3, I'd probably say it's one of my personal favorite ones of the series. I really do love Part 3 a lot. Basically, it takes place after Part 2, and basically in this one, the kids in this are not even camp counselors, they're just kids going to the lake, pretty much, to hang out. And basically in this one you have Dana Kimmell as Chris, you have Larry Zerner, of course, as Shelly, who's one of the best characters in the movie. I love the character of Shelly. You also have Catherine Parks as Vera. Of course you have the characters of Andy and things like that, and of course the late great Richard Brooker as Jason. And basically this is the start of the series where Jason has the hockey mask in Part 3. So, of course, it's a really cool installment. You can see right there. And that's actually right there. That's which I'll get into when I talk about that. But Friday the 13th Part 3, once again, another really great installment into the series. It's one of my personal favorites of the franchise. Part 3 is fantastic, because I really like the way that in this one it's a little bit more different than the first two. Like, the first two were more about camp counselors. Now this one deals with just them, as regular teenagers going to the lake. And once again, directed very well by Steve Miner. I really like the way he directs both Part 2 and Part 3. And I really like Dana Kimmell as Chris. Larry Zerner, of course, as Shelly. Really great, really funny character. Shelly plays pranks on a lot of people. And once again, this is another installment where you have some really great death scenes in this. And of course, like the whole idea where the kids run into these three bikers. Of course, the one biker gets with a pitchfork through him. My favorite death in the movie, it's kind of a tie between the two, but if I had to choose like my favorite death scene of Part 3, it's the one where Andy is doing he's walking on his hands, and then he looks up, and then there's Jason. He just slams the machete right down between his legs, and it's just like kind of makes you cringe a little bit. Like, damn, you kind of feel that one, if you know what I mean. Really painful. And the other death scene I really do enjoy is actually on the deluxe edition of this. This was originally in 3D, and then they released it in 3D on the deluxe edition. Now, basically, the way the 3D works is the one death scene is when the one guy is getting his head squeezed, and then his eyeball pops out, and it pops out of the screen. So, like, that was a moment where it was meant to be in 3D. And I really like, and another really great death scene, of course, is, Vera, where Jason shoots the flaming arrow at her, and goes right in through her eye, and things like that. I mean, like I said, this is just one of those films where it has a lot of really great deaths. And of course, don't forget Tracie Savage as Debbie. I got to meet Tracie Savage back in 2013 at Monster Mania. Really nice lady, Tracie Savage. Of course, Debbie from this film, she gets killed in the hammock, and that character is actually pregnant. She gets stabbed through the chest and the hammock. And so Jason don't mess around. I mean, he doesn't mess around. So really great death scenes in this. And another really solid, likable cast. I like Dana Kimmell. I like Larry Zerner, Catherine Parks. Richard Brooker does a really great job as Jason. I think it's directed very well by Steve Miner. And of course, you also have Harry Manfredini coming back once again to do the music. And it's just one of those films that, you know, it's without a doubt one of my personal favorites of the franchise. And on top of that, too, the whole ending, too, which is actually on the DVD here with Mrs. Voorhees, the corpse of Mrs. Voorhees, where it's kind of in a way it's kind of like an homage a little bit in a way to the original film. Like in the original film, when at the very end, when Alice is in the boat and then the kid Jason comes up and grabs her and pulls her down from the boat, and then she wakes up in the hospital, and it's kind of like an homage to that, where you have Dana Kimmell in the lake on a boat, but instead of Jason popping up out of the water, it's actually Mrs. Voorhees' corpse coming out and dragging her down, and then she wakes up. So in a way, it's kind of like an homage in a way to the first movie, which I thought was a nice touch. I mean, it was cool to see, you know, the corpse of Mrs. Voorhees come out and things like that. But once again, I mean, Friday the 13th Part 3, really great installment of the franchise. I like the cast, and this is actually the only way you can get this actually on this DVD and through this box set is the commentary, where you have Dana Kimmell, Larry Zerner, and Richard Brooker on the commentary, which the deluxe edition doesn't have this commentary. But yeah, but overall, Friday the 13th Part 3, really great installment. It was cool to see Jason with the hockey mask for the first time. This is where it gets introduced in, which was cool. And of course, you know, Jason Voorhees is just iconic for having that hockey mask. So it was cool to see Jason with the hockey mask for the first time. And I really like the way that Jason looks, like when he's with the mask off. I like the way Jason looks. And of course, the whole ending leads into Part 4, which I'll get to in the next review. But Friday the 13th Part 3, really do enjoy this film. It's a really great installment into the series. So that is pretty much it for my review for Friday the 13th Part 3. And stay tuned for the next review, which will be on my personal favorite of the franchise, Part 4. Now, Alex, if you're watching this, you already know what's going to be coming in that review. So, I will see you guys next time, and you guys take care.